Hey friends, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some really practical, simple things that I do on a regular basis that help me to get more protein in my day that truly take like no extra effort at all. I am a huge believer in making tiny changes, and over time they're going to have a huge impact on your life. And it's not always easy to do like these big overhauls, these big changes, but it is really easy to do simple swaps, simple hacks, or if you're already cooking, use this ingredient instead of this one, you're gonna get more protein. If you've been following me for a little while, maybe you've watched my what I eat in a days, or you've watched some of my meal prep videos, you already know some of the things that I do. Simple things like adding cottage cheese or adding egg whites to my breakfast, but some of these things are new even for me, things that I've recently discovered that I'm so excited about because they're so easy. So that's what I'm sharing today. I hope that you find today's video helpful. And I do want to mention, as a small creator, it really encourages me, it helps my channel grow if you hit the like and subscribe button and join my YouTube family. But don't just do it for me, do it because you truly got value out of today's video and you enjoy this type of content. I'm so excited to share these micro protein hacks with you because they're so easy, so practical, and I know that they're really gonna help you if you have protein goals as well. Okay, let's get into it. Well, there is nothing like a hot cup of coffee to start the day, at least in my opinion. So I thought it was fitting to start this video the same way, and I'm gonna share my favorite way to drink coffee, and that is by adding 2 scoops of unflavored collagen powder. Now this is completely tasteless, you won't even notice that it's in there, but by adding 2 scoops, you're gonna get up to 10 grams of protein, depending on your collagen powder. I think mine has 9 grams for 2 scoops, which is pretty good. Now keep in mind, collagen isn't a complete protein on its own. It is missing 1 amino acid, so that means that it's not the best for muscle protein synthesis on its own. So you do want to pair this with a complete protein. It's definitely not a meal replacement by any means, but it is a really great way to add some protein in your morning or midday and to boost your protein without any extra work. Next, I'm going to take you to the grocery store with me, and this is one of my favorite things to do. I love comparing all of the different cheese slices to see which one has the most protein and the lower amount of calories. I have yet to find one that has more than 6 grams of protein, which it's really not a lot of protein. I like to have a little bit more than that. So this is my go-to slice of cheese. I have this every single day with my eggs. It is light Swiss cheese. It's like the strangest protein hack. I don't know why Swiss cheese has more protein than all the other cheese that I look at, but it always does. 1 slice of Swiss cheese with this brand will give you 8 grams of protein. It's a really simple way to just top up your protein if you're already having a pretty substantial breakfast, but you just want to add a little bit of extra protein. I promise you're going to start to crave this every single day, at least I do, and it's so simple. Being a mom, I'm a really practical person. I like to have simple things for lunch. Often I will make a wrap. And one simple swap that I often will make is, instead of using a whole wheat wrap like this one, 180 calories, only 6 grams of protein, I instead will use a high protein wrap. These are becoming more popular and really easy to find. This wrap has 11 grams of protein and only 100 calories. That is an amazing swap that you can make that will take you no extra time in the kitchen. All you have to do is buy the right brand of wraps when you're at the grocery store next. I find mine right at Costco. You could probably find these at somewhere as basic as Walmart. You just have to kind of look around. Sometimes if you check the gluten-free section of the grocery store, they will be hidden there. That's the thing, when you're eating healthy or you're eating in a certain way, you kind of have to go on a treasure hunt in the grocery store, but it's kind of fun. It's not a big deal. You just have to look a little bit harder, and a lot of these things are there. You just have to find them.
Here you go. Is that good? You want another pickle? Want 2 pickles?
Yeah, I do.
You gotta eat them.
I am not a girl who can or wants to work out fasted. It is not my thing. I hate working out when I'm hungry, and I'm also learning more and more about the benefits of eating and fueling up before your workout. You're gonna have a better workout. You wanna have a quick carb. You wanna have a fast digesting protein. So my favorite pre-workout meal is making a pot or a bowl of oats. I'll use either rolled oats or quick oats, and I just make sure I make them a little bit more liquidy than usual, because here's my protein hack. All I do is add 1 scoop of chocolate protein powder to my oats after they are cooked. I like to add a little splash of milk so that it dissolves and mixes in really easily. This honestly tastes like a dessert in my opinion. It's kind of like a bowl of chocolate pudding, I guess. I also like to add different toppings. So since mine is chocolate, banana is one of my favorite things to add on top. So I'll add in some sliced banana, a little bit of crunch. I'll add some sliced almonds. That's all I do. It's the easiest way to get quick protein before a workout. Or you could even try this if you like having oatmeal for breakfast. Just add a scoop of protein powder and it's instantly higher in protein and tastes like a dessert. Something I do all the time that is such a simple swap. Instead of using mayonnaise, I will substitute mayonnaise for a plain 0% Greek yogurt. 3/4 of a cup is only 100 calories and 17 grams of protein. In mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon is 100 calories, okay? And that's 0.1 grams of protein. That is a massive, massive difference and a really simple swap that you can make. So if you are having tuna for your lunch and you're already making a tuna salad anyways, you might as well swap out the higher fat, higher calorie mayonnaise for a lower fat, super high protein Greek yogurt. And I promise you will not taste the difference. It's amazing. It tastes so good. It's nice and creamy. And then I like to add in a few things just to add a little bit more flavor. Because it's lower in fat, it doesn't have quite as much flavor. So I always add in a little bit of lemon juice. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of pickle juice, chopped pickles. I will often add in Dijon mustard, which tastes amazing in a tuna salad. And lately I've been adding capers. I am a big olive and pickle fan. So capers are kind of like a relative to olives and they taste really good. A little bit salty, but they're fabulous. So you can try adding capers. You can chop in some chives or green onions. I have done another video recently where I share a really good tuna and chickpea salad, so you can try that. But I do know we're talking about simple, easy swaps right now. So this one is good if you're already planning on making a tuna salad sandwich or a wrap or even just a salad. Making that simple swap is a great way to get more protein in your diet. And often if I'm not having a wrap or sandwich, I will have a salad. And one of my favorite things to do when I'm making a salad is instead of using just like an olive oil and vinegar, I will add in a little bit of this stuff again, plain Greek yogurt. This is one of my favorite high protein foods. Just adding a scoop of that into your dressing will turn your dressing into a high protein dressing. It'll make it nice and creamy and it tastes delicious. So that's another tip for you as well. Something that's really important to my family is having as many sit-down, home-cooked meals and dinners as we can. Mind you, not all of the ingredients are made from scratch. That is not entirely practical. As you can see, I'm using frozen veggies tonight. It's a busy night. My kids are in different sports and activities. And this is why I really do depend on some of these easy swaps and protein hacks to actually get more protein in my diet. Otherwise, it's just not realistic for me as a busy mom to constantly be cooking and coming up with new things. As you can see, I have frozen chicken meatballs that I just threw in some marinara sauce. But here's my hack, guys. This is something that I'm so excited about. Pick up a carton of cottage cheese as you normally would, but instead of keeping it in the carton as it is, throw it in the blender and blend it up until it's smooth. You can use this in a variety of different ways throughout the week. I'm going to show you a couple of ways that I like to use it today in this video, but I have used it as a pancake topping in previous videos. You can add a little bit of maple syrup and vanilla extract. The options are endless. The hardest thing to do is honestly just put it in the blender. So if you have 5 minutes, throw your cottage cheese in the blender, blend it until it's smooth, and then add it back into the same carton and keep it in your fridge. That way it's ready for you to use however you want to use it throughout the week. So here you can see it's nice and smooth. And I'm going to be using this blended cottage cheese in my dinner tonight. So what I'm going to be doing is adding it into a measuring cup, not because I'm measuring the amount of cottage cheese. You can if you want to. But what you want to do is, since I'm adding it into my pasta, because I'm going to turn this into a creamy pasta sauce, I want to temper it so that it doesn't curdle. Now, I do want you to be aware that it does kind of change the consistency of the sauce slightly, but once you add in a little bit of Parmesan cheese and you mix it in with the noodles, nobody is going to notice and everybody is going to love this. I'm very slowly adding back in the cottage cheese that I've kind of slightly warmed up so that it's not a huge shock to the cottage cheese and then it starts to curdle and separate. So slowly add it in, turn off the heat and just set it aside. And as you can see, it just turns this into a nice creamy spaghetti sauce. And here is another hack. Next time you're making pasta, instead of using a regular pasta noodle, try picking up a lentil pasta noodle or a chickpea pasta noodle. You can easily see how much protein is in these noodles, and it's just an easy way to get way more protein, way more fiber in your diet. The texture is a little bit different than your regular noodle, so do keep that in mind, but they taste great with sauce. You can kind of dress it up however you like, but this was an easy dinner that I made. I was already making it anyways. By making a couple of swaps that were really no extra time on my part, this dinner has way more protein. It's a better meal for everybody, and it tastes really, really yummy and delicious. Rice is definitely a staple in our household. It is so easy to prepare. It tastes delicious. It goes with basically any meal that you want to make. But if we're being completely honest here, rice is not the most nutritionally dense food out there. That's why I like to swap quinoa for rice. Quinoa is double the amount of protein as a white rice. It is also a complete protein, which is an interesting fact about quinoa. It's hard to find plant-based proteins that are full of all 9 essential amino acids, and quinoa is one of those plant-based proteins. And then when you're cooking your quinoa, another way that you can get a big protein boost, instead of using a chicken broth, which only has 1 gram of protein in 1 cup, swap it for a bone broth. I mean, you don't even have to make your own bone broth from scratch. It's great if you can, but it is really easy nowadays to find bone broth in the grocery store. My grocery store sells them in the freezer section, so I just keep it in the freezer and then pull it out whenever I need it. 10 grams of protein in 1 cup of bone broth. That is a huge difference, and I'm actually using 2 cups of broth to cook my quinoa, so that's an extra 20 grams of protein in our dinner tonight, and it was the easiest swap ever, whether it's freshly made or it's in a carton. Either way, you're gonna be getting way more protein than a regular broth. Now that the weather's getting cooler, I'm loving making big pots of soups and stews and chilies for dinner. And of course, you can't have a soup or a chili without a scoop of sour cream. And this swap may not come as a surprise, but here I am again with my blended cottage cheese. It's that same container. I just give it a little bit of a stir because sometimes it gets a little bit bubbly, but it is a perfect sour cream replacement. And if you do want to get even fancier than me, you can always squeeze a little bit of lime juice, add some salt and pepper, garlic powder. You can play around with the flavors, but it works as a great sour cream as well. And the last thing I'm going to share with you is something that I have been buying more recently. I don't buy this all the time, but when I think of it, I will look for a high protein, ultra filtered milk. This is going to give you double the protein than a regular milk. And it's such an easy swap to make. It tastes no different. And sometimes you just need that extra protein boost, whether it goes in your coffee or you want to pour your kids a glass of milk and feel a little bit better knowing that they're getting some extra protein. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.